Here we go. It's time for Monday evening workshop. Whoops. Time for, let's see, let me get the link up here. Copy the link. My name's Gary. This is the director of the Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra, and we are having our Monday night workshop on holiday music, Christmas music so far. And the guys, when they log in, they're going to be mad because I didn't get all my work done this week. But we will let them know that there's more on the way, and we'll just keep at it until we are famous and rich and happy. So that's going to be a little while. Let's see. So the website is jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where I post all of the lessons, all the sheet music, all that. Our member concerts on Monday night. Hi.
Are you on?
I'm on.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Our member concerts on Monday night, member workshops right now are designed to get us ready to play anywhere, anytime, and be super strong and good looking. That's the idea, anyway. Tonight, I'm going to go peek and see what all we're working on. First, let me make sure that the link is working properly, and then people will start. I'm in early tonight, 6:52. They probably won't be until 5 after, so another 8 or 10 minutes here. Let's see. Click here. It should send me here. We do ukulele and baritone simultaneously on Monday nights. Oh, hey, Vic. Hey, Vic. Vic's in early, too. Vic and I, we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about ukulele. I got to get my stuff downloaded. I just posted up a couple of new things out there. And I'll have to... We'll wait and explain to everybody once they're in what happened with why I didn't get all the stuff down that I'm supposed to have posted there. It's been a rather challenging couple days. I think the problem with me is it's always challenging. Everything seems challenging all the time. Maybe I'm shooting too high. Let me make a list here of the songs we are working on. You scroll down the orchestra, click here. And you wait for the orchestra page to pull up, and then you scroll down and you go to member section. I am signed in, I think. And go here. And then, all right, so Chestnuts on Roasting on an Open Fire. That's one of them. That's a lovely tune, by the way. Every time I work on that song, I think, oh, this one will be easy. And then it's not. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. And then I also added in Christmas Island, which I adore. Have you ever spent Christmas on Christmas Island? And then I should already have Silver Bells, We Wish You Merry Christmas and White Christmas already in here. So I'm going to download those. Okay. And... blink, blink. Okay. Okay. And then you wait patiently, and then you click here and here. And let's go into storage. Let's make sure I got everything. Storage, download. How you doing tonight, Vic? Everything good? No way to schedule the boiler and the door. Yeah, that's, honest to goodness. It's just like... people are saying, oh, 2020, blah, blah, blah. Well, every year we have problems, right? But it seemed like they kind of piled up this year. My building has been like that this year, too. It seems like just every week it's one thing after another. And at some point you just kind of get worn out a little bit. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, man, all I really wanted to do on Saturday was write music. That's it's Christmas time. I have all this stuff in the computer, but I want to make it, clean it up and get it ready for YouTube. And, you guys that are logging in from around the world every day, I want you to have the good stuff. And so, but I just couldn't get to it. And you're just like, man, oh man, it just doesn't seem right that everything is so difficult sometimes. Let's see, Chestnuts. Like you say, you can't schedule it. It's just, the worst one was on Saturday morning, somebody called me from the front door. Hey, the front door is broken. And, of course, it's this secure building. And sure enough, the power had somehow freaked out on it, and I had to call the guy in, and I wasn't even sure where all the equipment was for that, security features on that. We finally found it all, and he got it up and running for us. But, you lose 4 or 5 hours in the process, and you're just like, I don't know. I guess I'm at that age where I don't necessarily mind spending money on stuff that needs to get fixed. But boy, oh boy, I hate losing the time. Silver Bells Conductor. We wish you a Merry Christmas. You start to figure out as a musician, that's the one thing we can't get back is time. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Where is it? We wish you a Merry Christmas, Conductor. There it is. In alphabetical order. One of these days I'm going to learn to alphabetize. And White Christmas, Conductor. All right. So it looks like I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's enough. Don't you think? That should do it. Let's see. Hey, Red. It's always something. It's always something. That's that at the end of the day, that's the bottom line, right? It's always something. Let's see. Oh, see, Vic was out getting her leaves taken care of. She's up in Northwest. So, and Eugene, do they still let you break them out to the curb? They used to. I know I haven't been up to the Eugene in the fall for a couple of years, but I remember you used to go there, and everybody would rake their leaves out onto the curb. And then I guess, don't you have a machine or something that comes by and picks up all the leaves all at once? That was kind of a cool thing. We don't have that in Denver, so it's kind of cool to see that. Critter. Curb pickup for leaves. Yeah, that's it. It's funny. You drive along and they're just, everybody has raked their leaves right out into a nice little pile. This is called community. This is what we do. And this is very cool. Critter. I got my uke sweetheart sweatshirt. I'm ready for my Christmas music. Got a. Is it Emmanuel? Oh, come on, Emmanuel, a nice tune. Yeah, it was fun to work on it today. Like I say, I didn't grow up with that song, so it's new to me as a musician. And yeah, I love it. I think it's great. So let's see. Good evening, Lanny. How are you, bud? Curbside pickup for leaves. Yeah, I love that. I think you think about how many leaves are in the Northwest, and then here you have this town, and then at some point somebody in the government was like, you know what, we all have to do this. Why don't we just pool our resources and do it together? And so that's always you wonder, like, who had the original idea to do that? So many ideas these days seems like they're brought up by somebody who's trying to benefit from it, but I do think there's still a place in the world where we all agree that, hey, we got this common challenge. Let's all get together and solve this common challenge. All right. Let's see. Oh, they make compost. Oh, and then do you probably get a deal? You can go pick some of that compost up and do that. In Albuquerque, that we used to have a deal where after Christmas, you could turn your Christmas tree into this big pile in this one parking lot, and then they would grind it up and use it as mulch in all the city parks. So you had to bring your tree down and drop it off, but then they took care of it after that. And so when you go into city parks in the summer, there's, everywhere they mulch, there's all these, there's glitter from the icicles in people's trees in the mulch. It's kind of fun. Let's see. Hey, Evelyn. I know I'm not even close to getting Christmas out, but we will get Christmas out at some point. At some point you'll be like, I could really stand a cowboy tune right about now. Yeah, that's fun. All right, got my foot pedal going. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot. I got so much more Christmas music, and I just hope I can find the time to sit down and clean it up for you guys, because it's just one of those things that I've been doing now for a lot of years. Just every year adding a few tunes in, and you guys give me ideas about, hey, you should look at this tune, and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great tune, I'll put it in. Sometimes I'm like, no. So there's that tune. Oh, thank you, June. Yeah, it's the couple of those guys at the orchestra put my name in the hat and they picked it, and it was very, very kind and very fun, and it was just nice to get to see everybody, and hopefully we represented the organization pretty well. They asked me quite a bit about the orchestra, and then very little of that actually got in into the story, but you know they one of the things the media, they liked it to be about individuals, right? They like that, and so ever since I started the orchestra, every time they call up wanting to do a story on it, because it's kind of funny, ukulele orchestra, that's a thing, what? But they kind of try to make it about me, and I really try to steer it the other direction, because it's really not about me. I mean, I got it started and I keep it going, but it's about you guys showing up. That's the hard thing that we do. And so, yeah, but it's very sweet. And I'll send out the link to everybody over email for those of you guys that aren't local. It was very kind of them to do a little story on me. Do they do that in Arvada? You can drop off your tree there? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't know. I live downtown. I don't know anything. I know we have a lot of homeless people living on the street over here. It's kind of frustrating for them and for us, right? Let's see. Marie. I know. Thank you, Marie. I'm far from a hero, but I am every day. So it's at least 50% right. Hey, Laurel, good evening. Michael, good to see you, bud. Barbara, I know how you're twice in one day. I haven't found my sunglasses. I own a pair of sunglasses somewhere around here. I don't. I grew up in Colorado, and these days everybody wears sunglasses, and we should have been, but I just never got in the habit, and so I don't. But I'm going to start wearing them inside, don't you think? Now that I'm a movie star. Let's see. Hi, Linda. Made it in tonight. Jasmine, what's up? Hey, Lindy. Oh, John is there too. Hey, John. How Cindy's the troublemaker in baritone. She's like, yeah, I want to do the hard stuff. Everybody else is like, we're fine doing the easy stuff. It's cool. Jacqueline, welcome in. Hey, Carol, ho ho ho. That's right, we are getting to Christmas season. I don't have any Santa Claus ones up yet. I like saying Santa Claus. We're gonna get some Santa Claus ones going next. Yeah, it was in my head. I look like George Clooney in his 30s. On the video, I look like a moon around Jupiter, and so I'm trying to figure out if it was the camera angle they used that distorted that picture of me. So, yeah, and of course I know in my head I sound like Kermit the Frog. I know this, but you forget until you actually see yourself on something that I hear myself recorded all the time. I don't think much of it, but then when other people are watching, like your wife's friends from school or whatever, and you're just like, oh God, they're gonna say something to her. Hey, Kat, welcome in. Pauline, finally caught up with daylight savings. Isn't that the dumbest thing? It is the dumbest thing that we're still doing. There is absolutely positively no reason for it whatsoever, and yet we're still doing it. So yeah, it's annoying. This business of it getting dark all of a sudden at 4:30 in the afternoon. I mean, what are they doing? What are they doing? Kat made it in tonight. Annie, hola, Tanya, in from Florida. Good to see you. Hey, Patty, welcome in. Christina, we had fun. We had an ash pit and burn your leaves. They let you burn it? It is so crazy. You think about it, like farms and stuff, that's sort of a normal thing to burn off your dead stuff and all this stuff. And every once in a while it ggets out of control and then burn down their barn. But yeah, when you live in the city and you don't know anything about fire except you read about it, it's terrible what it does sometimes. And you're like, yeah, I don't think any people should be allowed to ever start a fire ever. I don't think you should be allowed to have a fireplace. I don't think you should be allowed to have matches. Yeah, it's dangerous, right? Hey, Minette, welcome in. Hope you're settling back in up in the hills there, getting some snow up there, which is really nice. You need a posse. You're my posse. You guys are my posse, right? I'm gonna wear sunglasses and I'm gonna say ridiculous things, and then you guys are supposed to pick fights with anybody who backtalk me. Oh, thanks, Kari. Kari. I see Kari all the time. Carrie. I don't know if it's deserved, but it was sweet. So thank you. That was very kind. British Columbia is in the house. Let's get going. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Sandy in from Michigan. Adorable, adorable. I'm a big old goofy nerd. I guess that's adorable. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Kari. There's Kari. I just call Carrie Kari. That's the world we're living in. Okay. We have to play music, and you guys have to help. So I'll give you an update on the website here shortly, but and I know, and there's stuff missing. Don't remind me. Well, I want to go through the new pieces tonight right off the bat. You may or may not have them downloaded, but at least pull them up in a separate window so you can look at them. Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. I posted that a few hours ago. And what's the other one I posted a few hours ago? Christmas Island. So I'd like to talk about Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire first. And then I want to talk about, I downloaded the wrong Chestnuts on an Open Fire. So while I'm busy fixing that, and then I want to talk about Christmas Island, which of the two is a pretty legit, I mean, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire is actually a pretty nice little tune. But Christmas Island is actually like pretty good music. And so I definitely want you to take a minute to take some time to look at that one. I think it's one of those where you can possibly turn it into a pretty cool song for yourself. And a lot of times when I'm working on this stuff, it's like, that song's okay. And then I make it sound like it's awesome when we meet, because that's what I do. But every now and then there's a song that's like, boy, that's really a good piece of music. And I think Christmas Island is that one of those. So Christmas Island Conductor, that's the piece I need. So Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. Let me pull that up. All right. Okay. And Chestnuts Roasting Conductor. That's where I made my mistake. Okay. Chestnuts Roasting Conductor. Download. And guys, remember, if you are working locally and you want to do a Christmas concert this year, or even next year or whatever, and you know that it would be fun to start incorporating some baritones in your stuff, I do have conductor files for this stuff. I don't post them online because it just is something that you probably don't need. But if you are not in the Denver area and you want to use this music for your group for whatever reason, just toss me an email. That's true of all of my music. If you feel like, hey, I would like to use Gary's music for this, that, or other thing, I always say yes. I just would like to know, what you're up to. And don't be shy about using my stuff. It's up. I leave it available to you guys on purpose. So, hey, Linda, made it back. All right. Awesome. All right. So Chestnuts on an Open Fire. Mel Torme actually wrote some of this. I don't know. And somebody Wells, I don't remember his first name, but Mel Torme, a lot of you guys will remember him, one of the crooners from the 50s. Let's go through the chords. Remember, baritones, in this case, baritones, I only had one note that was a problem. You ended up with the higher voicing on this one. And when I do that, it's a little harder to read for those of you who are sheet music readers, because you end up with basically the lower voicing that you're looking at on the sheet music. So the thing that's okay about that is if you're reading the sheet music, you're probably playing the lower voicing. And if you're reading the notation or the tablature, you're playing the higher voicing, which is kind of cool if you get together with two baritone players. But let's run through the chords, make sure that you guys are cool with that. Baritone players, you're on your own with your chords, right? We'll just talk to the ukulele players. But D chord, again, if you're scrunching to get everybody into the fret, you're playing too small of a ukulele. There's a soprano. I can barely fit my fingers in there. They're not crazy fat fingers either. It's just too small. So you would need to move up to this next size of ukulele. Okay. Chestnuts, A7 roasting on an open fire. then some more D, Jack Frost, and we'll just lift up your middle finger, nipping at your nose, G chord. Okay, hopefully all you guys are all set on G chord. Yuletide carols being sung by and you got this G sharp minor 7. It looks like a mess, right? It is. What it is take your G7, okay, move your ring pinky finger forward, slide everybody up one, and then it shows a full bar, but you're fine with just holding down that top string. Sung by a choir. Isn't it a beautiful chord? Okay, baritones, you have a much easier chord there. Okay, but for ukulele, we have a mess on our hands. It's really worth the work. So again, be thinking about, I'm going to make a G7. Okay, but I'm going to use those fingers, and then I'm going to slide that finger forward, and then and that chord will come up actually in some of our real music. It's a cool chord, and then slide it up one for this song to get to the G sharp, and just add a 1 on the 4th string. Sung by a choir, and then you go to your F shape with a bar on 1. Folks dressed up like Eskimos. Okay, that's that jazz influence, that 1950, 1945, or so not really early jazz, sort of the golden era of jazz, where they were really using new, nice, cool jazz chords in normal music, and eventually that evolved into not nice jazz chords into not nice music. But but this is really the era I like the jazz from. So Eskimos, A7, everybody D chord knows, a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. D chord. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow. Isn't that beautiful? And we'll find it hard to sleep. Okay, E minor 7th is just a G chord without your ring finger. Sleep tonight. And then the key, officially the key changes, but you don't see it on the paper. They just use different chords. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. G minor 7th is also cool. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeers really know. Isn't that cool? B minor. Reindeer really know, and you just slide it back, how to fly. And baritone players, you guys have a little bit different situation. When you do yours, and I'm using the wrong chords, let me grab a baritone, because it's important. Baritones, you guys have a situation there that's much more complicated than the ukulele players have. Your B minor, it shows up as this, followed by that. Okay, and what you want to do is index finger and then the A minor shape. Okay, and you can do as a full bar, and reindeer really, and then slide the whole thing down. Know how to, and then whatever the next chord is, fly. A minor, fly. A minor, A7. Okay, so that's what you're looking at there. So I think that it's one of those cool things they did in jazz in that era, where you had the chord and you just slid it down, and we don't do that as much as we used to for a time there, and it's really, really effective on this type of music. Dun 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 dun, right? And so ukulele players, you're a B minor. Reindeer really know how to fly. To the 7th chord, and then let's keep going. So I'm offering a simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been G minor from earlier today, some of you guys were saying you hated G minor. Said many times, many, and there's that crazy G sharp minor 7th again. Ways Merry Christmas. go fast there. Christmas to you. Okay. Yeah, the good jazz era. Yeah, I know. If you talk to jazz people who like jazz, they fall into the "I'm going to punch you in the nose" if you call it good jazz and bad jazz. And you got to drink a whole lot of Rob Roys and a whole lot of vodka gimlets in order to really like modern jazz, and eventually they drink enough where they actually do, and then you say, no, there was good jazz and bad jazz, and they lose their mind. All right, I want to sing this song. You're going to sing it too. If you hate singing, you're going to hum it. Okay, here's your chords from the top, nice and slow. One, not slow, just regular. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the seasons bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on the way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, let it ring out. Merry Christmas to you. Okay. So you know what a great singer I am. I just proved it yet again. Of all of those things, the only one I'm fighting, of course, is the G sharp minor 7. And I was trying to cheat it by doing, trying to come up with different things to do. I think you're best off bar, middle, ring, pinky. Just put it on just like that. Bar, middle, and then ding. So then you get many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you. Okay, so again, what we're talking about when we're doing strumming and chords and that sort of stuff is when we go to the strum along, in whatever town you are, if you have a ukulele strum along, most of you guys do at this point, not everybody. We try like heck in those strum-alongs to keep the chords rational, and the good news is most of the folk songs you can usually get away with that. That's why you spend so much time playing C, F, A minor, and G. It's because most songs will fit into that structure. But when you get to instrumental music, that's not true anymore, and you're going to have G sharp minor 7ths showing up. You're going to have G minor 7ths and E minor 7ths and all sorts of other cool things that don't happen in a regular strum along, and we honestly, if I was working with, if I said, hey, we're going to do this as a strum along, the first thing I'd do is just take out those complicated chords, right? I would just ignore them. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir and folks dressed up like Eskimos. I just would take them out. Right. And so that's one of the things that's a disadvantage when you're working with groups that are not really, they're focusing on a good time and singing and having and getting together for a beer afterwards. But we tend to oversimplify stuff then. It's not that I never simplify anything, but I do definitely, if it's a song like this with a lot of jazz chording to it, I want it to sound jazzy, Let's see what else we got going on over here. Let's see. Yeah. So all of us, we agree. There's a period of jazz we like. I actually have, obviously in the daytime classes, we'll be doing a lot more with jazz, and we'll probably be doing some at some point with this nighttime class too. All right. I'm not going to run through the melody. Hopefully you guys know who you are at this point. If you're newer to music, I really don't care if you're playing chords or not. I mean, I think that it's important that you know your chords and you get comfy with them. I do think it's not a bad idea to sing a little bit, no matter how terrible you are. The shocking thing is I'm actually a way better singer than I used to be, just because I do it as a teacher. But I do think that it's important for you to go through, play it, but I don't necessarily care if you get that great at it, because we got bigger fish to fry. And Manette says, I love that G sharp minor seven, right? Everybody else is like, I hate that G sharp minor seven. But listen to that. That's worth loving. Okay. So let's talk about the tough uke real quick. And we won't play it tonight, but we will play it next week. Let's just walk through it, make sure there's nothing wrong here, and make sure that it all makes sense to you. So, and again, baritone players, you guys are thinking melody and chords. I don't give you a baritone tough uke in this course, because this is a ensemble class and your job is to fit into whatever the main chord is. If I were to do a baritone version of this, it would be in the key of A, and it would look exactly the same from a tablature perspective, and your notes would be different in the standard notation. I try to put tough uke into a key that is best for whatever instrument I'm writing it for. And the key of D for this song, as you can see, is not a great key for you guys, because at some point you go all the way up to tens, and it's a little bit all over the place for you guys. And so just know, for baritone players, you're probably going to want to get your Christmas music from the daytime class. That's where I put stuff into keys that make sense for baritone. For here, baritone in an ensemble situation is the lower voice, and so it's serving as essentially backup, or a way of rounding out the darker tones. And so you don't get a tough uke version of baritone in this ensemble situation. And there have been times when we've had ukuleles back up baritones, but once or twice over the years. I mean, it's really very uncommon to have the low voicing be the star. And so you guys are serving in that role, and you should know that. It's okay, right? We still love you. You're very, very important, and we love having you around. But in terms of getting good tough uke arrangements for you guys, this is why you don't get it here. Okay. So on your tough uke line and baritones, you play along melody wise. And if you are not ready for tough uke, that's okay. Just play the melody line. Okay. Let's go through it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 D chord strum, A7 with the 4, 2 A7, 3 D chord. A couple of decorative notes here. Jack, bar, frost, 2 D7, nipping at your nose. Okay, I'm just a G chord there. Yuletide, A7, carols being D chord, sung by 2 and here's that crazy chord, right? Okay, that's it. It's exactly note for note. The whole chord just is sitting up in the roof there. And folks dress, C chord, up like Eskimos, A7. Everybody knows. Hey, shining tots with their eyes. Looks like a G, right? Whoops, sorry guys. You can see how that works when you're doing that. I'll go back to that in just a second and keep going. So pretty nice, right? The one thing that I think is super cool, I just want to take just a moment to look at it. If you look at 23, you have 4-2-0, reindeer, really, and then you can slide back to 1 and 3. Know how to, and then on the next page that A minor is just 1 0 1 2. Fly, and isn't that nice? It's just beautiful the way that's put together there. So spend a little bit of time getting comfy with that. I noticed just when I showed up and I'm looking at the tough tuba and not paying attention to the chord, my hands are twisted around in this weird shape. So I'd like to play it through one time at speed. Just so that it looks like I don't see anything in here that I need to change. So it looks to me like we can just play it one time through, whatever way you feel comfy with. Okay, I'll try to keep the pacing steady. It doesn't always work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sounds pretty, right? And I would say if I was getting ready to play for people, I know what I'd be working on, right? G sharp minor 7th, okay? But getting into it and getting back out of it, definitely the hardest part of the song, and you're hearing me kind of fight it a little bit. So you've got a chance to work on that. Next week we'll play it again in different ways, but I wanted to just make sure to cover it pretty thoroughly here. If you will pull out Christmas Island next, we'll dig into that guy. Let's see. Kari says by major 17th, 7 C. I find that's true in jazz all the time. You're busy playing all these really weird, complicated chords, and then when something normal shows up, it's like, what is that doing there? I mean, it happens a lot on more advanced music, which is so exciting when you all of a sudden, when a C chord sounds exotic, you start to figure out, what? I am playing advanced music. I'm playing music where a C chord stands out as being like, what? There's we're working on a Shokin Farewell in Harmonica, all things. And there are, I'm going to say this wrong, but I think in that piece, I'm going to look it up because I'm going to say something wrong and somebody will have to correct me. Hold on. It's a song from the PBS series called Civil War, and it obviously existed before that. But in this piece, all the Fs are sharp. All of them are sharp, right? So every time you run into an F, it's sharp. And in measure 20, there's a natural F. And honestly, it's like it punches you in the face. You're like, what in the world? It's just an F. It's just a regular F note. But because it shows up unadorned, like just hanging out there, you're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I love that. I love F. That's my new favorite note. So that's super. That's when you know you're playing good music, right? Is when you start caring about things that you don't when you normally don't. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, I think it's a pretty nice one. There we go. All right, nice. It's really pretty too. Now, of the two, I definitely like Christmas Island better. So let's talk about Christmas Island. Christmas Island, it starts off real slow, la da 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 dum dum dum, and then how'd you like to spend Christmas on Christmas Island? All right, and so we'll sing through it here in just a second because I know right now at your house you're thinking, I wish Gary would sing more for us. We're going to play all the way down to 47, and then we come all the way back to 16. Okay, and I know, guys, it's 3 pages, and I don't know how to fix that in life. Here's the thing: when I'm doing the arrangements and I'm laying them out, actually, you guys would maybe I'm lying. You probably, if you just have your ukulele and your baritone versions, you're both on 2 pages, right? Conductor score is 3 pages. Okay, never mind. That came up in baritone class today. We ended up with a 4-page song. And I was like, give us some advice on how to deal with these multiple pages. And I would say probably if you sat down and talked to every one of the orchestra members here in Denver, they'd all be like, yeah, we hate turning pages. I mean, I don't know. There's just this anger, you can feel when you're like, oh God, here comes a page turn, the end of my life, and you miss a measure either before or after the page turn, and it's just no getting around it. The only ones who don't miss their page turns are the ones who practice too much, and they're, you're like, I don't, good for you, but you're not a fun person. Let's see. Oh, is it 10 or 3 pages? Okay. So you got to turn pages. As a conductor, I have to turn orchestra, trying all to get this stuff, but trying desperately to keep your eyes on the paper. And then all of a sudden you've got to, not only do you have to stop playing, reach up, turn the page, find where you are on the page, get your stuff back together, and get back in time with everybody else. It's really a challenge. I will tell you that in real symphonies, they've made it easier. They set them in 2s, right? There's the lead violin 1 and violin 1 part B, and it's one of their jobs to reach up and turn the page. So if you watch the violin concertmaster, he or she never turns a page. The person sitting next to them turns the page, and they also in those scores get a whole lot more notes on a page than we can get on with our particular arrangements. And so unfortunately, in terms of playing advanced music, you have a much harder job than the people in the symphony, because you have all this stuff on here that you're going to be working on and doing, because you have notes and tablature on every sheet of paper. And so turning pages becomes one of the things that we have to just accept and work on. Is it not permissible to tape your pages together? Yeah. Absolutely, it's permissible and encouraged, frankly. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Betty. Betty saves every single piece of paper that we hand out and then carries them around in her book in case she needs them. But I looked at one of her books one time, and I mean, there was tape, and also, I mean, she could just stretch that thing out. And when our orchestra first got started, some of them started getting the 4-page wide, the conductor music stands, and I'm like, I don't think I like that. I don't want them to do that. And then I got thinking more about it. I'm like, well, but then they would have to turn less pages, and so inevitably, however, we'll end up with a score that's 5 pages long, and then they still lose their minds. So make a Christmas moo for Christmas Island, right? Comes an issue in concerts when you're all crammed together. Yeah. So there's not a good answer, guys. I would say tape stuff together, have the little fold out wings. Running your book, absolutely, it's part of what you have to learn to do, and to get it together. You'll notice I went to a gadget here, which works great when we're sitting here and it's you and me. It doesn't work great when the scores are 40 or 50 pages long and you're waiting for it to turn pages and all this stuff. So the gadgets in and of themselves are not necessarily the answer. Okay, Christmas Island. Let's start off. Let's just play. The first part is just melody, and those of you guys that are tough ukers, there's a couple of chords in there you can add to kind of make it nicer. Let's go through and hear what that sounds like from 3-beat count in. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay, the hard part, obviously, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 0 chord. Okay, and I could have put the chords on there, but I think you guys know what a 0, 0, 0, 3 is and a 0, 2, 3, 2. You've probably seen it once or twice, so you're probably okay with those chords. I needed the room to fit everything onto the front page. And then a big old fermata at the end of measure 6, so honor that. So play that with me one more time. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Let it ring, and then we keep going. And then let's sing it first and make sure we know what all the chords are, and make sure I put the right chords on for measure 7. Go. Let's get away from sleigh bells. Let's get away from snow, snow. Let's break some Christmas dear. Let's break some Christmas dear. I know the place to go. 2, 3, 4. And then we pick up the speed. How'd you like to spend Christmas on Christmas Island? How'd you like to spend a holiday away across the sea? How'd you like to spend Christmas on Christmas Island? How'd you like to hang your stocking on a great big coconut tree? 2, 3, 4, 1. How'd you like to stay up late like the islanders do? Wait for Santa to sail in with your presents in a canoe. Have you ever spent Christmas on Christmas Island? You will never stray, for every day your Christmas dreams come true. How'd you like to spend? And then you go all the way back to where do we go back to? Measure 16. Okay, so just somehow, if you can spread out 3, you're perfect. If not, otherwise, a lot of times I try to squish repeats into the 2 pages that are you're most likely to be looking at a time. But on this one, it just went too far. There were too many measures between the repeats, so you have to turn the page. Now let's see, what else do we got? There's your chords. Melody is pretty, it's nice. Okay, and if you don't know the song, go listen to the MP3. It's on the website, and then go listen to a few versions of this on YouTube, and you'll like the song. It's a really good song. Now, Duff Euclid. Okay, let's do 7 through 15. Make sure we know how that works. Okay, so from 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and with that one, grab your B7. I blew it. Grab your B7, and then your pinky goes up here on this 5 of the 2nd string. We never do that, right? So, okay, measure 9. Keep going. Go. Measure 13. Okay, and pay attention to that fermata. That's a moment when you're like, stop. Okay, and Linda's looking at a completely different measure than we're working on. What does the add 4 mean at measure 38? It means you're adding the 4th. It's really a suspended sound. So in this case, you're adding a G into this D chord. Okay, so the add 4 means it's the 4th tone in that situation. D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? I think that's not right. You're adding in a G chord on top of that. So maybe it's not an add 4. Is it not an add 4? It should be an add 4. Yeah, 4. D add 4. D, E, F, G. Yeah, D add 4. You're adding a G into the D chord. That's what that means, Linda. Okay, back to 7 through 14. Make sure you've highlighted the fermata at the end of 14, because when I go around to play it, we will play that. Okay, how'd you like to spend? And that's just melody. So start from 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. G chord. With your pinky. E7. Pinky. 5, 3, 2, A7. Add the 2. Okay. O, 3, D7. Your high G7, we talk about this during the daytime all the time, but this is going to come up a ton. Your regular G7 is here. This G7 is here. Okay, and you guys are going to get that all of the time. Grab that. And then this G sharp diminished. How many of you got blown out on that guy? Okay, again, 1, 1, 2, 2. Going to have these D minors are going to show up a lot. The diminished shapes are going to show up a lot. Okay, here's that. This is popular here now. Oh, it is a popular song. Okay, good. All right. Okay, and Linda actually lives in Maui, so we want to fight her, but not so much as we want to hurt her, because when we go to Maui, we want to go have a cup of coffee with her, right? Or a Mai Tai. I don't know. What do you drink, Linda? What's your drink? So there's your G diminished, G sharp diminished in this case, and then I put on the fancier D7 here, and then go to some more melody. This goes back to the main idea. Use your pinky to get that 3. So you can go right to the G, E7 on 25, 5, 3, 2, A7, add a 2, take it off, O3. E7. And now the idea changes, right? And so the chords change. You can see they behave auto. Anytime the sound in the song changes, the chords are going to change as well. So here we go with how'd you like to stay? C chord up, late, C minor. Like the islanders, B7, 2, 3, 2, 2, E7. Wait for Santa to sail in with your, and this is where things get pretty fancy, presents, and this has to be fast, in a canoe. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do there. So it's got to be fast. Presents in a canoe. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, let's go from 30 to 39. Go. Two, three. And we repeat all the way back to 16. Do it again. Last time you come through, I've got a pretty basic ending here at measure 48. Bum, bum, bum. And then just lift up your ring finger for that G6. Okay, you get that kind of. Anytime we can get a sixth sound into a song that's about the islands or Hawaii or whatever, that's going to always sound good. Okay, that old sort of 1950s ukulele sound. Okay, that's always going to sound really cool. That's all I want to talk about on that. Gosh, I can't believe the time is wasting away on us. So that's enough for you to hopefully get you a good solid start on that piece of music. And each week what I'd like to do is just be playing through stuff and making sure that it's really solid in your head about what you're supposed to do. Find those places that are gonna blow you up, and then obviously work through the week, give you a chance to work on those areas, those diminished shapes and the G sharp minor sevenths and any awkward fingering when we're going way up the fretboard and way back. That's the stuff you want to spend a little bit of time on. You don't need to. Here's what you don't need to do when you're practicing. You don't need to play the song top to bottom. You don't. You know how to play a C chord. You don't need to practice those. You don't need to practice G chords. You might play through it all the way to begin with and all the way to end with, but find those places that are going to make you sad and then go just work on that section. I have wasted more time in my life playing songs top to bottom poorly, blah, 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 blah. Then I go back and I play again, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't sound good. And I'm like, okay, I played it twice. I practiced. Okay. Super inefficient. Find those places in the song that's going to blow you up and fix just that area and have faith in yourself. Have faith in this little guy inside of you that's running your ticker. You know how to play ukulele, right? At your level, you're doing fine. Okay. You have faith that those places that are not a problem for you are going to be there when it's time to do the performance. And on those areas that like I can tell you right now, G sharp minor seventh on that first song, that's going to blow me up every single time. I'm going to have to go spend a little bit of time, put a little highlighter on there, work just on getting in and getting back out. And that's what we're going to do. Baritone on measure 32. The G. Okay. So, let me see where we left off. Antonio, you are absolutely welcome. We're not done yet, guys. I want to play a couple other songs real fast. Tanya, baritone, measure 32. Christmas Island, baritone. I already closed out, Tanya. I assumed I had spoken with complete intelligence. Baritone on measure 32. The C chord is written for the C tuning you. Oh, can you just fix that for me? Sorry, sometimes I miss those. Because the baritone chords, here's the problem, guys. You baritones, I love you, right? Here's another group I want to fight. When I write the music out, I write the whole thing out. Everything is done. And then when I do, the last thing I have to do is make the baritone sheet separate and go through and change all of the chord fingerings by hand. It's a huge pain in the butt. And so sometimes I miss them. So thank you, Tanya. If you will make sure to mark that on your music, and I will mark it on the master. If I have time, I will fix that. Fix baritone C on there, right there. Okay, so thank you, Tanya. I apologize. Every now and then they get away from me. All right, let's play. What are our choices? Your choices are Silver Bells, We Wish You Merry Christmas, or White Christmas. First one to pipe in with their answer is the song we're gonna exit on. No, we might be able to fit two in. First one in is White Christmas. All right, go grab White Christmas. This is an extremely democratic process. White Christmas. Go grab that for me, please. Oh, and then we have two Silver Bells. So maybe we can play through White Christmas quickly, and then we'll do Silver Bells. White Christmas Conductor. Okay. All right. So on White Christmas, remember you're going to play down through 32. You have a 3-measure first ending there. So second time we come through, don't play 30, 31, and 32. And really, that's about it. Okay. I'm not going to play fast. We're still just getting comfy with the sheet music and our arrangements and making sure they play well. So find your way of playing this. If you're a chord person, you should change. If you are new, you should be playing melody. And obviously, it's Christmas time, right? We're not getting together as a group. We're never going to get together as an ensemble by December. That's not happening, right? So the pressure's on you to be a solo performer. And that means tough uke is probably the line you're looking at. Baritone players, getting your melody just as comfortable and as fast as you can. For some baritone players, working on chords is also important. If you're a singer, you're playing the chords and you are doing something fancy with them. Don't give me I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Please don't do that. Okay, stop doing that. Somebody already did that. You come up with something better. From the top, one time through, first shot, best shot. If I blow it up, I blow it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the top. Second ending. I looked at that second to last chord and I thought, I have no idea what that is. Five, 7, 6, 8. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, yeah. That's your E minor shape with your pinky. I'll have to make myself a note about that. That's cool. That's a cool thing. Do we have time? We got time to do silver bells. Go grab silver bells. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th fret. Dunt, dunt, dunt. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. All right, go grab silver bells. White Christmas. Isn't that pretty? That's a nice arrangement. I'm very happy with that. That should sound lovely in your coming out of your machine. And then silver bells. Silver bells. Okay, we play through down to 32. Come back and play it down to 30 again. What is it? Down through 30. Skip the last two measures. Go to 33 and 34. I have one note here that says no exclamation point. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I put that. All right. I have no notes to make any sense. From the top, three beats per measure. Don't go fast. It's really beautiful if you play it slow. 1, 2. To the top. Second ending. So dumb. There you go. Okay. Hopefully you're playing well. Hopefully something meant something to you tonight. Thank you all for being here. I'm very excited that we always get a nice showing of nice group of people here in the evenings. Thank you from all over the world that you guys are showing up, and those of you guys here locally that show up, you're showing up despite knowing me, right? So you get extra credit. You're like, oh God, it's Gary. All right, but hopefully you guys are having a wonderful time. Got nice music, guys. I had a Saturday blew up on me, so I'm ran short of getting music posted, but I'm going to be posting music all this week. So hopefully I'll get you all caught up. You'll have too much Christmas music. That's my goal. I want you to have too much. And so I'm going to keep it coming at you. And I will see all of you either tomorrow during the day stuff. In the daytime, we do baritone ukulele, easier ukulele, harder ukulele, harmonica, what? And guitar. So if you want to get better at any of those things, stop by. And then, of course, everything's recorded on YouTube. So you're more than welcome to, well, nobody goes and watches the recordings unless unless you have to, right? But double check, right? I know some of you have real jobs and you have to go. So, but try to get out of those jobs. Those don't do you any good. They just make you sad. So no, they make you happy. Keep going to work. We need people to work. And I will see the rest of you guys next Monday night. I don't think there's anything standing in the way, so I'll see you then. And let's see, where do we leave off? Linda said, pretty. Okay, we're sounding good in Hawaii. That's all that matters. Hey, Laurel, beautiful. Oh, were you echoing? Oh, yeah, the echoes, right? Dun, dun, dun. They're kind of fun. Tanya, thank you. You're welcome. Good to see you. Barbara, have a great evening, Barbara. Patricia, good to see you. Kari, don't forget. Oh, yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. Kat, it's really fun. Christmas Island. Oh, Christmas Island's new to you. Oh, really? How exciting, Kat. It's a really nice song. Yeah, I think you like it. Go listen to a couple of versions on YouTube. You'll fall in love with it. Good to see you, Vic. Go take a few hours off between now and when you see me again, Vic. Cozy, good to see you. I didn't know you were here. Good to see you. Pauline, it was fun, right? Hey, Lanny, have a great night. Jazz. Isn't it wonderful? Just have a safe place. We come, get some sheets. Oh, go sit down. I'm going to play for a little while. World disappears. Best part of Tough You, guys. The single best thing it will do for you is make the world disappear. You will be engaged in an activity that involves your entire brain and your entire body, and it just makes all of the world disappear for just a tiny bit. That's the best thing about Tough You right there. Marie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Jacqueline, as always. Annie, good to see you. June, no such thing as too much Christmas. There is no such thing. June and I are on the same page with this. I make fun of Christmas music all of the time until we're doing it. I'm like, man, I am so glad we're doing it. I just love it. All right, Karik, thanks. Good to see you. Manette, you're welcome. Absolutely. June, you're welcome. Linda, all right. Linda, don't get rid of your spare bedroom yet, Linda. I'm headed your way one of these days. Manette, good to see you. Probably don't have a spare bedroom in Hawaii. They're too expensive. Vicky, thanks for everything. You're welcome. Michael, good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you. You know, we tested Zoom when we were going to start doing this. I sat down with, the small group from the orchestra, sort of the more the heavy hitters in the orchestra. I says, let's figure this Zoom thing out, because they all, how they have all these videos of, here's 27 or here's 150 singers and they're all singing together and they're all on Zoom. And I'm like, we should do that. And so we tested all of the platforms, and there's just too much lag in order to pull this off. And so what they're doing is they're recording everybody separately, and then an engineer is bringing them together to sound good. And yeah, so it's one of those things where you're like, okay, since that doesn't work, why would we deal with the Zoom quality and dealing with people's microphones and video of them and all this stuff when you have to turn it off? We could just do it one direction. I mean, that's really what's happening anyway. So, so we ended up on YouTube. I think the technology the quality of what goes out is much better than what Zoom can handle. And the sound is better and the whole thing is better through YouTube. And the technology is quite a bit lower. You show up to the webpage and hit play. And if you choose to log in, you can use the chat box, but you don't have to. And so for us and for what we're doing here, I think YouTube is definitely the way to go. So, and you don't have to comb your hair, right? You don't have to put pants on. No, I'm not wearing any pants right now. All right. Thanks, Linda. Let's see. And by the way, Linda, comb your hair once in a while. I know you're living in Hawaii and, you'll do it tomorrow, right? Like New Mexico, land of mañana. Yeah, you comb your hair once in a while. But listen to the recordings. Yeah, right. All right, Linda, good to see you as well. All right, kids, pulling the plug. Have a wonderful night. Go play some Christmas music. We are only 5 weeks away to Christmas Day anyway. So all of us are going to have weird Christmases this year. This is one safe place to be. All right, I'll see you.